morning to you, Tabajara Bertelli Costa. I'm Michael Kelly from the World LPG Association, and we're interviewing Tabajara, who is the CEO of Ultragaz, one of the pillars of membership in the WLPGA. He's been CEO since the 1st of January in 2019. And Tabajara, I wanted to start by asking you a question about how you began at Ultragaz, because I remember reading that you actually began your career as an intern in Ultragaz many years ago. Is that true?
Yes, is that true? Oh, good morning, good afternoon for you, Michael. Thank you for having me here. And yes, I started at Ultragaz 25 years ago as an intern. The same happens to the former CEO, Pedro Jorge. He started at Ultragaz as an intern also. We have this kind of cultural trait, if you can say, at Ultragaz. We are similarly focused on developing our people. We have a lot of leaders that started in the company as an intern or with at our initial position within the company. I can tell you now that more than half of our directors started at the company as an intern also. So we have this focus on develop our own people inside the company. That I think it's kind of our cultural trait.
Yeah. Has Ultragaz always had this kind of very strong company culture?
Yes, I think since I started the company, it's already established here. And recently, we have been add some new people from outside to make a balance between internal people and outside. I think it's good for our culture. It's not against our culture. Actually, it's improving our culture. And we are focused for a tremendous transformation in the future that we are prepared the company for. But I think if I can say, direct your question is yes. We are similarly focused on developing our own people here.
Yeah, that's an excellent trait and the sign of a good company. Tabajara, let's turn our attention to innovation, which is a huge issue. This issue of the digital transformation, it's one where Ultragaz has always been a leader in the LPG industry. And I know that you are focused on achieving the digital transformation in the LPG industry. And let's be honest, the LPG industry needs a digital transformation. Tell us a little bit about what you have planned and about the Blue Room, which we've heard so much about.
No, that's a good question. Yes, as you said, the Ultragaz has this trait, this culture of innovation inside the company. The company started 83 years ago as an innovation company, bring LPG to Brazil. That was not present at that time. And the company is always leading the industry, bringing new applications for the product. And when we talk about digital transformation, everything starts some years ago when we implanted what we call the Blue Room. The Blue Room was a place at that time, a specific place, when we developed new application for our clients, focus on what we call the open innovation, and focus on some questions, some problems of our clients. How can we help our clients developing the new products or new solutions that you can deliver to that clients? The better way to do that was, we think at that time, was to bring outside companies, not just from our people, but people from different places within Ultragaz. So we put them all together in what we call the agile method that we can develop in a very fast way and launch this new solution to the market. That had been extremely important for us at the beginning. And it has evolved. That is so big right now that almost the entire company works working that way. So we are not separate in specific areas. We invite different companies to help us when those companies have more competence in some issues that can add value to our clients. So we are extremely focused on it enable us to put the client in the center of the solution, not the companies in the center anymore. But we are always focused on the client's need.
Yeah, you know, I visited the Blue Room a few years ago, and it was actually a blue room in the Ultragaz headquarters. Can you tell us maybe one or two of the innovations that have come out of the work being done in Blue Room?
Yes, a lot of new application was launched from the Blue Room. That's a huge space right now. We have some new, when we think about digital transformation, we developed and launched the new app. We launched it last year that we connect us to the final customer. We know that the Brazil market, we use a lot of dealers. Ultragaz has more than 5,000 dealers all around the country to reach the customer. The customer here in Brazil expect to receive the cylinder as soon as they order it within 50 minutes. You need to be extremely fast to meet that expectation. So we'll launch this new app. The customer just order the product. We select the dealer that's near their place and available to do the delivery within that 15 or 30 minutes. And we'll follow all the path until the delivery is processed. So we can guarantee to the final customer that the experience will be perfect. We also, from the Blue Room, we develop new tools that you can improve our relation with the dealers. So that we call the map. It's that you can get closer to the dealers. We offer them some supports in terms of marketing, commercial needs, training for their employees. So we put all of things in that digital platform.
Excellent. You know, that first application sounds almost like a Uber for LPG cylinders.
Yes, a kind of that. It offers to our clients digital experience. Is the traditional marketing way to deal with the customers is the customer need to call a dealer and order, give them the address and how they will pay. Now our customer can do everything through the smartphone, and we can offer a special solution to that client because we know him now. He's not just a telephone number anymore. He's a customer. We know what his preferences are.
Yeah, that's great, and that's exactly the kind of thing I think the LPG industry should be doing. Let's turn our attention now to the COVID-19 pandemic, because as I mentioned, you became CEO in 2019. So you had one easy year, and then you took over just as the COVID crisis happened. Can you tell us how Ultragaz has adapted to the challenges of COVID-19 to ensure that you keep your customers and your employees safe?
Well, we deploy a lot of new measures when the pandemic arrives in Brazil, the same that happened all around the world. The first concern was to protect our people, our dealers, and we learn a lot during this process. We implement these working from home solutions for every place that was possible. We implement a lot of sanitary measures that could prevent our employees and dealers to get contact with the disease. I think we have kind of success in that process. You know that LPG was extremely necessary during the huge crisis that we lived last year. We need to support the population. We think we complained with that role in a very well manner. We succeed that. If the market actually grew last year in Brazil, specific from that moment. But when we think about business itself, I think we have a kind of tailwind that help us, because we are, as you said in the previous year, we was extremely focused on this digital transformation within the company. And the last year, we were enable us to deliver those new tools. So we learned how to develop that solutions in this virtual world that we are living now, that we can talk here right now because of that. And we accelerate our digital transformation. We launched a lot of this new platform. Now the clients can get contact with Ultragaz for different ways, and he will be treated in the very same way. That doesn't matter which platform you are using. Yeah. The customer, we see that the customer is more confident using this digital platform, and we are supposed to lead this process and give him those options in a very positive way.
Yeah, it's interesting. So you were already working on a digital transformation, and then COVID-19 hit, and what you were planning to put into place, you had to accelerate to meet the realities of the COVID restrictions. So that's just good timing.
That's a good timing.
Excellent. Well, that leads into my next question. And how do you see the COVID-19 impacting in the long term the Brazilian market? Like, what do you see as the future of the Brazilian market, which, let me just tell the crowd, is one of the largest markets in South America or Latin America, and certainly one of the most dynamic markets and innovative markets anywhere in the world. So how do you see that evolution following the pandemic in Brazil?
Well, we are always waiting for this post-COVID world that we hope that we reach it in the next month here. But we think that important transformation happened all around the world, and especially in Brazil. This necessity to put the client in the center is extremely clear right now. So you know that we are extremely focused on developing new solutions, especially when we talk about commercial clients. We launched a new solution last year during this difficult year that we have in 2020. But we know that we need to keep that process. Leading the innovation in our industry. You know that we have a lot of new applications that are available to the markets. You know about the car wash system that we launched some years ago. We have a new solution that we launched last year and this year. So we need to keep the path of new applications to meet the specific solution of the clients. In our view, the future of LPG is not just the focus on the product, the gas itself anymore. And we need to be part of this energy transition that we're going to have in the next year. And LPG is the perfect energy for that. So you know that's a very efficient energy in terms of energy itself and environmental issues. So we are very optimistic about that. When you think about, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, when you think about Brazil, we expect to have a huge transformation in our market for better. You know that we have a solo supplier in Brazil, that's a Petrobras, that right now is in the middle of the process to sell part of the refinery park in Brazil. Maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, half of the supply will come from private hands in Brazil. That's extremely positive. And we also expect to have a spike in the natural gas supply that will come with new LPG supply also. That will change the dynamic of the market, because we are having nowadays we need to import LPG, so we work with price will relate to international market. It could be a huge transformation in the next year or 2 or 3 years that we expect to to have a new kind of competition inside the market that in the end would be good, extremely good to the customer. You have new source of gas, new ways to deliver the product to the clients. We think we will have a very busy 3 or 4 days ahead.
Wow, well, excellent. And one of the characteristics of Brazil, the Brazilian market, for those who don't know, there's a very high level of penetration for cooking applications. Some 90+% of Brazilians cook on LPG. But there are some prohibitions on the use of LPG. On things like motors, there's no autogas in Brazil, and other types of engines. Is this issue being addressed? And will it be addressed in the future?
Yes, we had some issues about the restriction of LPG in the past. Now we with World LPG Association help a lot arguing with those regulators. The market has evolved in a very well direction. We just have those that usage that are forbidden. We expect that to change in the near future. That especially when we talk about some kind of engines, that is, if you think about agricultural use from Brazil, that we have a huge agricultural market here, but we don't have a lot of LPG applications in agriculture, especially because these restrictions to use it in engines. So we expect that to be removed in the near future, that will allow us to grow the market, especially when we think about that commercial application. In the residential market, as you mentioned, we already have a huge penetration. 100% of our cities has access to LPG. We have dealers all around the country. It's already there. It's an extremely mature market, but we see a lot of opportunities in this commercial market once these restrictions are removed. And again, what we have just said in the beginning about the new solution that we can launch to reach that market. I can say that I see this market in the future in a much even more dynamic and even more near to our customers.
Excellent. And you mentioned that WPGA had assisted you in addressing some of these challenges. And so I wanted to ask the final question. So what benefits do you derive from being a member of WPGA, and do you see Ultragaz continuing? Ultragaz, as I said at the beginning of the interview, is one of the stalwart members. You've been active for a long time. Tabajara's predecessor, Pedro Jorge, was the president of WPGA just a few years ago. Can you just tell us what benefits you get as a company from being a member of WPGA?
Oh, yes. Well, the WLPGA is extremely important in our view. First of all, because for Ultragaz perspective, it gives us the opportunity to have a complete and deep connection with the world industry of LPG. So during our meetings, our forums, we can connect with other players all around the world, new developments that is happening all around the world, right at the time they are happening. And sometimes you can be there during this process. So that's extremely important for us that once we have this innovation culture here, that connection with World LPG is extremely important. On the other hand, the World LPG Association has been extremely important to bring to Brazil the idea of a better market, a more open market that can improve our regulation. We saw some evolution in our regulation recently, and we know the World LPG Association was extremely important to give these ideas, these connections that allow us to develop our entire regulation for our better way in our markets.
Wow, excellent. Thank you. That's a great answer, and we certainly appreciate having a member that's as involved and as dynamic. And you know, you said the Brazilians learn a lot from the WLPGA. I would say that many of our members, particularly developing countries, can learn a lot from the Brazilian experience. We always hold Brazil and Ultragaz specifically up as an example to other countries as to how to grow a market in a way that is safe and in a way that is very dynamic. Tabajara Bertelli Costa, any last final words?
Oh, just thank you for the time. It was a pleasure to talk to you and to everybody that is watching me here right now. And whatever day you want to talk again, I'm here and available to have this conversation. Thank you, and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Tabajara, and I look forward to seeing you either in Brazil or maybe in Dubai at LPG Week in December. And as Tabajara said, thank you all for joining us. This is LPG Talks. I'm with Tabajara Bertelli Costa, the CEO of Ultragaz in Brazil. I'm Michael Kelly, the Chief Advocacy Officer for the World LPG Association. Thank you all for being with us, and stay safe.